Animal House is the Dom Perignon of this kind of movie. And this movie was Ripple. Because nobody had really...
Where am I?
Okay. Hello. So welcome to What the Flicks podcast, episode 82. 82? Yeah, 82. I'm Susan Ayers.
I'm Lon Shima.
I'm Patty Smith.
Jorge Sanchez.
Yeah, as you can see, Patty's joining us by Zoom today. She's a busy girl, places to go, people to see. So our movies this week are Paint, Sinners, Kneecap, Penguin Lessons, and Fandango. So this week, let's get right to it. We have a movie. Okay, Kenny, if you want to suggest a movie to us, we will do it. This movie was suggested to us by Ken Fleming.
Doug agrees. And that's not Ken.
And that's not Ken. And so we did it. And would you like to start it, Lon?
Yes. Okay. I had to bring it up because I wanted to read the little definition of Fandango at the beginning of the movie. So when you set the movie, dictionary definition comes up. So it says a lively Spanish dance in rhythm varying from slow to quick 3/4 time. Second sighting is music for this. Third sighting is a foolish act.
Oh, wow.
Guess what this movie's based on? And you'd be surprised, to be quite honest, because there is a Fandango in here. This is a movie I saw, I saw in the 80s. I can't say where. I did not see it at the theaters, but it was one of these movies that when videotapes were becoming very popular to rent, this is one of those movies that sort of popped up. And I remember watching it because, to be quite honest, Kevin Costner was in it. Now, Kevin Costner plays the lead in this movie, and this is following his like on his way to stardom, because it's not only is his first leading role, he was also in Silverado the year before, and he got a lot of attention for that.
He was up and coming.
So yeah, and you can see like a couple years later, he's going to be a major star kind of thing. So he's one of all of these frat brothers. It's him, Judd Nelson, Sam Robards, and a couple other guys who basically are known as the Groovers in this frat. And, they're all talking about their futures, and, Judd Nelson's going to go off into the military. He obviously he's going to, because he graduated, he will become an officer. So the parents come by and are looking forward to that. But then Sam Robards comes in. They're all wanting to see him, and they're asking what's wrong. He looks a little depressed, and he announced, because he was going to get married, but then he announces he broke it off. And oddly enough, he doesn't break it off with the girl because she wasn't home. So he has to tell the girl's father exactly why. And that's because he just got drafted. That's another thing. This is taking place in 1971. So the draft was going on. And I'm sure at this time point, if you went to college, you could avoid the draft. But I guess sometimes when you actually graduate, they want people so money. And if it comes up, you go. Oddly enough, Kevin Costner then confesses he also got drafted. But he doesn't even seem like he wants to. He doesn't take it seriously. In fact, that's his character. He doesn't seem to take a lot of things seriously. He just wants to have fun in life. Now, what's interesting is that, like I said, Judd Nelson, he's looking forward to it. He could tell he's the hard worker. He's the one who owns the car. So they decide to take a road trip.
And didn't he sign up?
Oh, yeah, no. He definitely signed up.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He knows at 8:00 tomorrow, he has to show up and, be there and everything. And like I said, he's already going to be an officer. He's going to be a lieutenant the minute he goes there. So Kevin Costner decides, let's go take a road trip. And it has to do with going to find Dom, which, I couldn't even remember what that was from the movie, but they just talk about something's buried at Dom, a rock somewhere. And this all taking place in Texas. So they decide, okay, let's take a road trip. Of course, they get into Judd Nelson's car. And they let me see. Judd Nelson is Phil. Sam Robards is Kenneth. Kevin Costner is Gardner. Now, there are two other characters. One is Chuck Bush, plays this guy named Dorman, and Brian Sesek plays Lester. Now, these are just two peripheral frat members as well, but in my opinion, they actually are sort of the funniest because Lester is just completely passed out to most of this entire movie.
And
So he's
Dorman
just,
carries him.
right. And Dorman seems to be this quiet intellectual. He's always reading a book.
But isn't he a
doesn't say much.
minister?
Well, that's what he's
I mean, they
going to be.
introduce him.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what he studied. Was
Which is
basically-
funny because
yeah.
he looks like I thought he was like the football player because he's so big.
Well, exactly. But like I said, you could tell he's always has his face in a book, and he has weird little skills too. As when you watch the movie, you see some certain things he can do. But the five of them, they're just going to do this all together. So they hit the road, and it then becomes a road movie. And Susie also points out something. It's also a coming of age movie, not in that teenager sense, but once you become an adult, what are you going to do with your life, kind of thing. So as they reflect and debate and everything over this, they run into, of course, what you do run into. You run into colorful characters. So, they run out of gas at one point. Then they meet up with these two girls where one of them owns, the father works at the cemetery, owns a cemetery or something. And then they want to take a parachute kind of lesson, which they're going to pay for and everything. So it's all these sort of hijinks that goes along the road. And then, it gets to the point where at one point, well, no, towards the end, it's like, oh, because when I watched this movie originally, I thought, what in the world is the purpose of this movie? I don't get it. Because it's sort of idiosyncratic when it comes to the culture, like the language they're using, and for me, the music. I remember, in fact, when I first watched it, I got sort of really pissed off at the movie almost immediately. There's actually a wonderful sequence where they're on the road, they're grabbing beers off the highway, but they're playing Elton John's Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Now, if this movie's supposed to be taken in 72, I know that movie...
71.
Or 71, I'm sorry, 71. That song came out after the Vietnam was basically stopped by Nixon, I think in 73. That was from his Yellow Brick Road album, or Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album. So it's like, you've already made a mistake. But then that's like saying, I don't think that's a matter. They're just trying to put everything together of its time and sort of reminisce from 15 years ago about that time period.
Anything that's going to put you in the 70s and kind of in a way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Even if it's 79 or...
So, in fact, this time I thought, that doesn't bother me because the craziness and the wackiness of the scene, the music truly does fit. So I don't know what to make of the movie, though, because like I said, I had the same thing because I was still sort of confused. I'm scratching my head and I'm talking, wow, we're literally 30 years ago now when you think, right? No, 40. This
40.
is 40 years ago.
And if that was 85? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like, oh my God. And it's like, I'm still thinking, what was this movie supposed to be about? Except I did accept towards the ending there, as it goes, it's like they really are just trying to come together and everything. I was surprised on reading on Wikipedia that this became a cult classic. And again, I sort of scratched my head at that too. So this is not a movie that I liked when I first saw it. I wasn't a big fan of it now. 40 years later, nothing really opened my eyes. So, except it is sort of fun to see, you're literally looking at Kevin Costner right before he's going to become a huge star, So, and Judd Nelson and Sam Robards, these are known actors. They're all young, I can't even think if there was, I did point out to Susie that one of the girls was E.G. Daily,
Yeah.
who for me, ever since Valley Girl, I would always see her in movies and Streets of Fire. She always shows up, and this was one of the movies she showed up in. Yeah, I don't know what to make of the movie as far as would I recommend it? It's like, well, now I'm confused because I'm so surprised it's a cult film. I would love to know, for example, the person who recommended it, what age group they are, because I wonder if younger people do really appreciate this movie now.
Well,
Kenny,
he's
I would
Ken's
say
not
it's in
that
his
young.
50s, mid-50s, I would think. So I
Right.
wonder if they go into nostalgia from the 80s. This is an
Ah.
80s,
these are 80 people.
80s in the
Oh,
80s.
okay.
So-
Now I can see that. See, if you saw this when
Ken.
you're a young person, then yeah, I can see you really sort of being excited. I was 25 at the time. So to me, it's like I said, I was a little bit maybe too mature, but this should be hitting my age group. But like I said, I think it was because of the Kevin Costner character. I did sort of get annoyed with him because, like I said, I think I was more serious at that time. So it's like, oh, this guy's not serious about anything. And yet I loved, Animal House, which is, a 70s movies about frat boys. And that's the kind of movie I was hoping to see.
Me too.
Go
Yeah,
ahead,
me
Matt.
too. My turn?
Yes.
Your
Yes.
turn.
I agree with you. First of all, Animal House is the Dom Perignon of this kind of movie. And this movie was Ripple because nobody had nailed their acting ability. Nobody had written good scripts. They tried to cram, you're right, everything of the 70s. That wasn't really the important part of the 70s. But the number one thing that took me, I could not get my eyes off, is Kevin Costner looked like their father. He looked like he was he was 35 or 40. And everybody else was 19 and 20. It was so weird seeing him play that kind of role. And I never thought he'd be a star if I saw that. Even when I saw Silverado, I didn't think he was going to be a star. Except he was a good-looking guy. But yeah, it's like nothing was written. I just remember thinking, with those kind of movies, and I like them when they're well done, well acted, you really see the difference. Like, I'll compare Animal House to this. How slick Animal House is, and it doesn't look that way until you see a movie like Fandango, which shows you how bad a movie could be this way. Do you know what I mean? I am definitely Debbie Downer on this one.
Well, one thing I have to admit, I wonder if it just happens to be maybe if you grew up in Texas and more from a small town or kind of thing, this is the kind of activity that is sort of normal for people.
Sorry. Say it again.
Oh, no, I was just talking about how if you're from Texas or small towns, maybe this is exactly the kind of activities you would do and find fun.
No, I'm from a small town. That's not what you do.
Oh.
But you're not a boy.
Yeah, that's true too. Exactly.
I pretty much was too.
It's true. Good point. Okay. Is that good, Patty? Are you done?
Yeah.
You've done flogging the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess
Look at all the movies.
so for me, this movie, I actually did enjoy it, but I thought it doesn't know what it wants to be because it's
Right.
kind of like Sinners. Are you a horror film or you're a deep film? This
Right.
movie is, are you an Animal House kind of movie or are you a deeper movie? I
No.
don't know, like Ferris Bueller. No, but they remind me of Ferris Bueller because in the 80s they released a lot of teenage angst movies.
Right.
The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, and the struggles or whatever. So they released a movie in the 80s, but about teenage angst in the 70s and during the Vietnam War and the whole thing with the draft. So it has these moments of Animal House, which with that whole plane and the pilot, which is really funny. I think
That was
funny.
hysterical.
But then it goes to the serious moments too about, like there's this one scene in the movie where they go to the cemetery, which looks like the cemetery on Olympic or Pico or whatever.
Yeah, we wondered if it was
But
that
then,
one.
and then there's with the young girls,
Yes.
and then this are playing this game where they're shooting the fireworks at each other. And it looks like a war zone.
Right.
Right.
So which I was saying, so it reminds me of Echo Park in the 80s when we used to do fireworks.
But also,
could do
they realize it looks like a war
But
zone too.
yeah, it was to me that was a brilliant scene because sometimes the movies are deep without knowing that they're being deep. So there's
Right.
that one scene where they're fighting and you see the smoke and everything, and then you have the Kevin Costner character, and then the character that was supposed to be married but he left his girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
and they both have been drafted. That's the thing about the movie. Judd Nelson's character, he joined the military.
Right.
He wants to be part of it. He's
Mhm.
different, but they still have been drafted. And they're seeing, and this is scene where they see all this smoke, and you see the cemetery, you see the tombstones, and you see the crosses right behind this like war scene. And to me, it's almost like saying that there's war,
Right.
and this is where you're gonna end up. This is the causes of war. It's like it was so deep to me that was like, oh wow, it was like ooh. So probably they didn't know either it was meant to do that or just happened by accident, but it was a great scene. So the movie does that. It reminds me a little bit of more like St. Elmo's Fire,
Right.
which is about, but those guys are more like yappies and we out of college.
Right. Exactly.
It's a movie about choices and decisions and that the fact that it's something with the Vietnam War and being drafted also. But the one problem I have with it is that that those guys seem too old for me for high schools, just out of high school.
Well, no, they're out of college, not high school.
That was
college.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right. Because the writer said he wrote it about it was supposed to be a parody of Greek life, which is that's what they call fraternity or
Right.
sororities.
Yeah, right.
So it's a movie supposed to be a parody of sororities, but right. So just okay, that makes a little more sense. Out of college, that makes more sense.
Oh,
So-
interesting. Okay.
But yeah, I thought. In the beginning, I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of where's this going? And of course, Kevin Costner annoyed me. But I can see the star potential right there already. Just he's annoying, but you can see that sometimes the
Charisma.
people, the charisma. People who annoy you are going to be great stars. So I thought
Mhm.
it's annoying me, but and then and okay, I keep watching it. And started getting deeper. Okay, I see where they were going. To me, they might have slightly missed the boat. But I can see the message and the deep movie they were trying to make. And so 2 movies.
Well, that's one of us, George.
But the funny was funny, but it wasn't as funny as like Elmo House. And the deep part was deep, but it wasn't as deep. It was as deep as the 80s movies are, like St. Elmo's Fire. It was as deep as St. Elmo's Fire. Was you see me that deep?
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm rich. What do I do now? I'm gonna be going to work for. So
Mhm.
yeah, but I still enjoyed it.
Oh, okay. Actually, this was actually made as a student movie. It was actually called Proof, I think.
Yes. Mhm.
And like George, I literally, when I first started watching it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to watch this movie in chunks because Kevin Costner is annoying me so much. His character is annoying me so much. I can't stand that kind of guy, right? And I can't, so then. So as I kept watching it, going back for my next 20 minutes, I actually finished the whole thing and I really liked it. It was like, kind of like the Kneecap. It was like an independent film. It was even though everybody's really famous now, all the people in it weren't famous then. So it's kind of like, it was kind of, what did they say? It was a beautiful farewell to youth. And I thought that was a great description. It was a farewell youth and I actually think the movie was very deep. And there was a character in it I was trying to find.
Is it the Truman Sparks character, the pilot?
Were you looking for the director, Sue? Were you looking for the director?
No,
No.
the guy who played the pilot.
So his name is Marvin J. McIntyre.
Oh my God, I loved that role. Like you were talking,
Yeah, he was funny.
he was funny, and the spots he was in, like there's one. They decide they're gonna get this guy, the one guy they're having. Him and Kevin Costner they don't get along.
Judd Nelson's character. Yeah.
Judd Nelson.
Mhm.
Love Joe Nelson.
Yeah, and in this movie they were just. It was like Kevin Costner was the leader, and they were like all followers. But they're really young, so that's probably true. But I'm not a guy, so I don't know how that works. But
Oh no, I think because you're right. Because Kevin Costner had the charisma, like you said. You could see what people would.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, let's go do this," and everyone just followed. Yet Judd Nelson, like you said, is the more responsible this and that.
Right.
Yeah, but he's just as annoying.
Oh no, very, very much
He
so.
is
Exactly.
just as annoying.
I think that's the part that you're seeing the two sides of this kind of group
I also think,
dynamic.
yeah, so I was thinking in the 80s, that was a very common theme in movies. Farewell to Youth. It's a very
Yes.
common theme.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a great story because it is
Mm-hmm.
kind of like I said, that the movie is kind of like a lot of things are stupid at the end. What I mean is the way that it kind of unfolds would never actually unfold in real life. But I get it. It's a movie. It's kind of like that I get the idea of what they're trying to say. So by that time I had accepted the
Premise.
the songs that don't match,
Mhm.
and also the language. I am from the 70s, and the language, like I don't know in the United States because I wasn't raised here, right? But the word no, in the 70s, you would not use the word dude to talk to a guy.
No, you'd say more like man.
You'd say man.
Man.
Come on, man. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? You know?
Exactly.
So there was certain things of the language that weren't there, and certain things of the music that, you give it poetic license.
It's a person going,
right?
what's going on, my guy?
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to happen. So, but I thought I ended up enjoying the movie so much. The music was amazing. It was great. And the guys were they're so goofy, but you get to kind of they're just goofy guys, and you kind of get endearing. They're kind of endearing.
Can't wait to see the sequel.
40 years later.
40 years later, right?
Well, oddly
Dude,
enough,
what I thought was the guys were goofy, but they were more like high school goofy.
Well,
I
Patty,
mean,
college
those kind of
guys
movies.
are goofy also.
When I was in college, guys didn't act like that.
I don't
in
know how
high
I
school
got.
they
Okay, but just guys act differently around girls than they act around each other.
That's true. I know
That's
that.
fraternity
Well,
guys.
that's what I'm saying. So I can't really say that because I'm not a guy, and I've never been hanging around a bunch of guys.
And like I mentioned
as
before,
a guy.
Patty, maybe it has to do with being in Texas, the town that they are in Texas.
Maybe.
Yeah, and
Because
also-
regional stuff like that happens, I know regionally.
Right.
Like if you're from a small town, you might
Right.
behave different. Whereas if you're from LA or New York, you're going to act a little differently.
And the thing about Kevin Costner is he was going to draft dodge. And that was a very, they made it like he was kind of like a flake. That's why he was going to draft out. But there was a lot of people at that time who draft dodge who were not.
No.
They just
Yeah.
made that kind of decision, but they
Yeah.
made it that way in the
Mhm.
movie. So I would have been interested to see a movie about the guy who was really into it 20 years later.
Well,
John Nelson.
To be quite honest, what I would like to have known is what they did in American Graffiti, where they told you what happened to these guys,
Oh, right.
I
Yeah.
don't think they were real guys.
Yeah,
No, but
there
that's what
was
I'm
that.
saying, the characters.
Yeah,
just
there
what
was
the
at the end,
characters.
they turned into
know.
whatever.
Like American Graffiti, I thought that was a wonderful way to end that movie because since they had so many characters, what happened to them? Like the one who did go to Vietnam, it says, "Oh, he is now MIA." Things like that. I thought, yeah, because I would have liked to known because of the parachute thing. The only reason Judd Nelson decides to do this is he tells the Gardner character, the Kevin Costner
Right.
character, okay, if I do this, you have to go.
Yeah, but he was
Because
talking,
and the thing is, and I understand because
Well,
I think
not the
George
Kevin
is right.
Costner
No,
character,
he-
the other character.
he was
the guy
talking
that left the
to-
wife.
Yeah.
The
He tells him.
Kenneth,
Yes, he tells him,
character,
yeah.
okay. Well, that's what I mean,
Mhm.
and so that's what I thought was interesting because I thought, okay, since that's the whole thing that's looming towards the end is because they know they have to show up at 8:00 the next morning, supposedly for duty or whatever. What I thought was interesting is since that's always looming that's where that's sort of why it's like, yes, have as much fun. I'll never forget when I met these two guys. They said, "Oh yeah, we just signed up," they were 18-year-old kids. No, They were 21 because they could drink. And I said, well, what do you think you're going to do? It's like, oh, we're probably going to try and get as drunk as we can and find women, blah, blah, blah. But they had signed up for the army.
Well, I remember there was a time when people used to go across the border to
drink.
the United States to drink because the age limit was lower, like New
Yes,
York.
exactly.
So
yeah.
I don't know that the age limit was 21. There might have been.
Oh
18
no,
at that time.
I'm talking about recently. This happened like 20 years in Santa Monica when I was working.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, wow, this is sort of interesting. But I never thought about that. But even the younger guys are like, oh yeah, just go to a nightclub, have as much fun. Everyone's encouraging, have as much fun as you can before you sign up, because we know how hard you're gonna have to work.
Yeah, you might die.
Well, basically, and that's why, especially the Vietnam War, if everyone does know, it's like, yeah, which is why the whole opening is sort of really important. The fact that he found out he got drafted, that's said, I can't marry her now, which I thought good on him, right? The fact that he's thinking of her, but he's not getting her response to that. Right?
Well, exactly. It's like when you get married, it's two people's choice.
Exactly. Yeah.
That you don't get to make all the decisions. Although, personally, he's too wimpy to be. It's like, but I didn't like him either. But he didn't annoy me as much as the Kevin Costner character annoyed me. But
well, to be quite honest, like I said, they all annoyed me except for
the big guy,
Dorman and Lester. They were the only ones who didn't annoy me. It was the three of them.
Yeah,
and it was because of their dynamics, and I think they obviously set that up that way. Right?
What was I going to say? I was going to say something else about the movie. Oh, I wanted to mention, what was the pilot's name? Oh,
his name is Truman. Well, the actor, Marvin J. McIntyre.
Yeah. I asked Lon, is like, was he in the Road Warrior? You remember, like, there was that kind of pilot guy in the Road Warrior with Mel Gibson. Do you remember that?
No, but yeah.
Did you see Road Warrior?
I did, but it's been a while.
No, there was that guy because they had a kind of like this like beanie.
I want to say it's Barry something. I know.
I can't remember.
But I was like, is that the guy from the Road Warrior? Did he get the part from this part? No, he says not.
No.
And there was another point in that movie.
Oh, Bruce Spence. That's his name. Bruce Spence is the actor. Yeah.
Yeah, because he reminded me so much of him. You know
what's weird is when I was watching this movie, when that pilot character came up, I thought he looked like the guy that was in that series about the 80s.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Strange Thing.
Oh, Stranger Things?
Stranger Things. If you remember the guy who worked at the video store.
I can't remember that.
I swear to God, no, just their look.
Because he got a big jaw and underbite.
Made me think about
Chumpers.
I just literally said, wow, that looks like the guy.
Do you mean Stranger Things?
Stranger Things, yeah, Stranger Things.
I don't remember even a video store in the Stranger
No. And like I said, that he was just a minor character, but he was a reoccurring character. But I just thought, oh, he sort of looked like that guy. Because he also had that same kind of goofiness, blank kindness and thing.
So it was definitely, like I said, it was a school. This guy went to USC. And he made it for his student project.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought it was really good.
Are we talking about Fandango still? Are we grading it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's grade it.
Okay. Myself? Which I'm totally surprised because I really... Okay, that's you. That'll be you. Ron started it.
I'm going to give it a 4.
Oh, wow.
I have turned into Lon today.
Well, it ended up being more interesting than I thought. So how about give it a 4 that we're going for 7?
Yeah, I'm giving it a 9. I liked it a lot.
I gave it a 5, because it's one of those movies, like I said, I would actually encourage people to see this because I'm really surprised. I mean this, that it has a cult classic to it.
Well,
and by the way, before I forget too, that the other girl, it was E.G. Daly and Glenn Headley played the other girl. She was another major actress that came along who had a future career. But for me, it was really weird because I always had a crush on Susie Amos. She was just that wholesome all-American girl. You
Well,
know?
that's
So-
another thing about that movie. It does have a nice little twist at the end.
No, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
It does have a nice little
Mhm.
twist. And I think it's amazing because it's a student movie. Basically, that's a student movie.
Right.
And I think it's really good.
Mm.
And I'm sure it was made on a low budget,
Oh, probably. Yes.
you know? So, yeah. So that ends our 82 episode. Oh, did I do that? 82 episode. We hope you'll like and subscribe.
Yes.
And, you can buy us coffee. That'd be great. And that'll be it till next time.
Yes.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.